back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome back to another Seasonathon announcement video. It is that time once again to announce another round of Seasonathon, and this time it is time for Merry Bookmas. As you guys know, Mel from Completely Melanie, Clint from Reads Readers, and myself host a readathon every season, winter, spring, summer, and fall, and it is time for our winter round. Of course, it is centered around the holidays, but if you don't celebrate, it's okay. We are still going to have a freaking blast with a lot of fun reading prompts, some good times to get together and read, and just a good time all around. So if you are interested in this readathon and hearing all of the details as well as the prompts and the group book and the group author, feel free to stay tuned. I'm going to quickly run over all of the important information that you will need for this readathon, and then we will get into the prompts, and lastly we'll talk about our group book and everything that comes with that. So of course, stay tuned, but before you do that, make sure that you go and check out Mel and Clint's channel. I will leave all of their information as well as their announcement videos down in the description box below, so you can go show them some love as well as get some more recommendations for some wonderful books for the prompts that we have this time around. So this round of Seasonathon will run from December 1st to December 31st. There is going to be a total of 12 prompts, but of course you can double up, triple up, quadruple up, whatever works for you. I know the holiday seasons are crazy, so if you don't have time to read 12 books for all 12 prompts, do whatever makes you feel comfortable, whatever's going to make sure that you have fun during this readathon. But if you want to be the overachiever and read all 12 books for 12 prompts, that's awesome too. Our very important dates to keep in mind are a little bit different this time, so make sure you pay attention. Our live shows will be after the readathon has already ended, and that is just because we wanted to give you guys time to enjoy the holidays, the new year, and the after hours live show as well as the author live show will be on January 7th. That is a Saturday. The author live show will be at 3 p.m. EST on Mel's channel, and the after hours live show will be at 8 p.m. EST also on Mel's channel. Of course, if you don't remember the dates, everything will be in the description box below, as well as there will be a Google document with all of the information, all of the prompts, some fun recommendations in there, so make sure you check that out as well. Our other host will also be hosting some live reading sprints in case you need a little extra motivation. The first one that we have is on December 2nd at 3 p.m. EST, and that is on Mel's channel. Then on December 11th at 2 p.m. CST will be on Clint's channel. December 15th at 3 p.m. EST will be on Mel's channel. And December 28th at 3 p.m. EST will also be on Mel's channel. I will also be trying to host some live reading sprints if I have the time and energy, but my baby will already be here by then, so if you don't see a lot of me during this readathon, that is why. The other very important date and time to keep in mind is our Merry Bookmas Watch Along. We did this last year and it was so much fun, so this year we're going to be doing it again, where we will be watching a movie all together. It's going to be a blast, so if you have a chance to stop by and watch the movie with us, I highly recommend it. That movie watch along will be on December 11th at 7 p.m. EST, and that will require that you have a Netflix account and that you have the Scener Chrome extension downloaded onto your computer. It's very easy. I will leave all of the information that you need to do this in the description box below, but make sure that you have that set up prior to the watch along. That way you can jump right in, and it does allow us to all watch the movie at the exact same time as well as chat, and it's going to be a blast. It was so much fun last year, so I definitely recommend you try to join us this time. And this year we will be watching Fall for Christmas. I have never really heard of this one, but I love all Christmas movies, so hopefully it's a good one. Just like our previous two readathons, there will be a Google Doc and a Google form for you to log in all of your books that you are reading throughout the month, just so we can keep track of how many you guys are participating, how many books are being read, and how many pages we're able to accomplish in a month. Now, I believe that is all the important information that you will need for this readathon in regards to dates and times. So now, let's get to the fun part, the prompts. So last year for Seasonathon, it was centered around the 12 tropes of Bookmas. However, this year we are doing the 12 treats of Bookmas. So all about sweet treats and fun things to eat and drink during the holiday season. So prompt number 1 is sugar cookies. And that, of course, is to read something sweet. So just like usual, I have 4 recommendations for you, 2 that I have read, 2 that I haven't. Hopefully this will give you a good number of recommendations to choose from if you are stuck on any particular prompt. But as I say every time, you do not have to choose the books that I mention in this video. It is just here in case you need some extra recommendations and you really just can't find that one book to fit that one prompt. So my first recommendation for something sweet is Legends and Lattes. I have heard such good things about this adult fantasy. It is a cozy, all around wonderful book, and it is not something that we see in today's fantasy market at all, so I definitely recommend if you're looking for a laid-back fantasy that is nice and sweet and cute, I would read Legends and Lattes. I could also recommend To All the Boys I Loved Before. This is a very cute YA contemporary romance, and if you haven't already read it, I think it's a great one. I cannot not recommend this series. I think this series is fantastic, and that is the Bromance Book Club series by Lisa K. Adams. And finally, if you're looking for a sweet holiday book, you could do The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayliss. Our next prompt is a quintessential holiday treat, and that is, of course, candy canes, and that is to read a book with red or white on the cover. My first recommendation for this one is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. Obviously red and white, or if you wanted to do a different V.E. Schwab book, you could do A Darker Shade of Magic. This one is definitely one of my favorites. How could I not recommend House of Earth and Blood for this particular prompt? Obviously it's apt. And I'm going to keep trying to get you guys to read these books, and that is none other than the Tate James books. I have 2 different series written by this author. They both fit for the prompt. You could do the Hades series by Tate James or the Madison Kate series by Tate James. I recommend this one over this one in regards to reading order, but if you haven't picked her up at all, I highly recommend it. And I feel like I'm dressed perfectly for that particular prompt. Our next prompt is personally one of my favorite things to drink, and that is hot chocolate. And for this prompt, you want to read something that's going to make you hot, whether that is steamy hot or angry hot. However you want to interpret that is up to you. My recommendations for angry hot are either going to be Beartown by Frederick Bachman or Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. And then for steamy hot, my recommendations are going to be Twisted Love by Anna Huang and Surrender by Amy Dawes. Our next prompt is a doozy, and that is another classic holiday drink, and that is eggnog. However, I feel like this particular drink, either you love it or you don't. So for this one, you're going to read a book you're not quite sure about. Now, I didn't have any particular book recommendations for this one because it really is up to your interpretation. Read a book that you are just not sure if you're going to love. That could be for any particular reason. It could be for a trope that you know is in the book that you don't usually like, or it could be because it's written by an author that you have read from before and didn't love. There are a lot of ways you can interpret this, but I know you guys will figure it out. For prompt number 5, we have gingerbread, and I don't know about you, but when I think of gingerbread people. And for this prompt, you're going to read a book that has a 1 or more people on the cover. Some recommendations that I have for this prompt are My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. If you want something short and sweet, you could do Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. If you're looking for a good fantasy, you could do Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Niang. Or if you're still in the cozy fantasy vibes, I would recommend Wild as the Witch by Rachel Griffin. Our next prompt is Yulelog Cake, and for this one, you have to read a book with magic in it. There are plenty of books to fit for this particular prompt, but the ones that I have here are Nocturna by Maya Mote, another Rachel Griffin, which is personally a favorite of mine, and that is The Nature of Witches. You could also try The Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson, or if you're looking for a chunky adult fantasy to tackle this month, you could do City of Dusk by Tara Sim. The next treat that we are going to be talking about is holiday pudding, and for this particular prompt, you have to read a book that features a holiday. That could be any holiday. It does not have to be a winter-themed holiday. You could do New Year's Eve. You could do St. Patrick's Day. It doesn't really matter, but whatever holiday you choose just has to work for you. The only book that I own in this particular category is A Court of Frost and Starlight by Sarah J. Maas, of course. In this one, they are celebrating the winter solstice, which is their version of Christmas, I would say, but it is a holiday, so it definitely works. If you are still in the holiday spooky vibes, but you want to read a quick and steamy novella, you could do Scream for Us. This is by Molly something. I can't remember the name of the author, but it is a Halloween-themed, very spicy, quite unhinged novella, so good luck. Or if you wanted to read the Christmas option of that particular book, you could read Melt for Us, which I have not read, but will definitely be reading during this month. I mentioned the Bromance Book Club series by Lisa K. Adams earlier, and she is releasing a Christmas-themed book in this series called A Very Merry Bromance. So if you want to read that one, it's definitely a good option. Or if you want something a little bit different, you can do The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody, which is set on New Year's Eve. Our next prompt is sugar plums, and for me, when I think of sugar plums, I think of the Nutcracker. So for this prompt, we are going to be reading a book that is either a fairy tale, a classic, or a retelling. If you're looking for a retelling, you can do something by Katie Robert. The Wicked Villain series is retellings of Disney movies, whereas the Dark Olympus series is retelling of Greek gods. A fantasy romance option, you could do Guild by Raven Kennedy, which is a King Midas retelling. For classic, you could do something like a classic fantasy, like A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin, definitely a good option. Or if you want to go all the way classic, you could do something like Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. The next prompt is Fruitcake, and that is to read a book with LGBTQI+ rep. Now for this, there are a ton of books out there for you to choose from, but these are some of the ones that I would highly recommend. You could do something short, easy, and sweet, or in my case, a good reread of Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. A book with trans representation that I really love is Stay Gold by Toby McSmith. You could also opt for a LGBTQI+ fantasy with A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. Or if you're looking for a sci-fi, you could pick up Iron Widow by Zeron J. Zhao. I feel like the holiday season isn't complete without a good reindeer, so for this treat, we're going to be doing Reindeer Chow. And for the prompt, you have to read a book with an animal on the cover or in the story. Some recommendations that I have, perfect for the holiday season, we have Mistletoe and Mr. Right. This is by Sarah Morgenthaler, and there is a dog on the cover. How about a middle grade option? You could do Willow Dean by Catherine Applegate. There is a bear fairy thing. It works. A good YA fantasy option would be Six Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim. There's an animal on the cover, in the title, and in the story, so this totally works as well. And then there was no way that I couldn't recommend Wolf Song by TJ Klune. Obviously, a wolf on the cover. Our second to last prompt is our only non-reading prompt, and that is chestnuts. And for this, all you have to do is make your favorite holiday beverage and post it on social media and tag us. If you are doing it on Instagram, just tag us individually. And if you are doing it on Twitter, just tag Seasonathon. And finally, our last and final prompt is Popcorn Garland. We're stringing it all together and ending it off with our group book, which is, drumroll please, Hooked by Emily McIntyre. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be reading a self-published, spicy book during the holiday season. I don't know about you, but I like spicy books all year round, but especially during the winter. I don't know, I like cozying up with a good, spicy, sexy book, and I'm excited that it's this one. This book also works for several different prompts for this readathon, so if you wanted to double up or triple up, it definitely works. There's red and white on the cover. It is a Peter Pan retelling, so you can use it there. Plenty of options. You could use it for the hot chocolate prompt, a book that will make you hot. Honestly, there are so many ways this one can fit into the readathon. However, if you are not interested in reading the group book, you can fulfill this prompt by buddy reading a book of your choice with a person of your choice. So in case you aren't interested in reading a spicy Peter Pan retelling during the holidays, I get it, but there is a way to get that 12th and final prompt under your belt. And then of course, because our group book is Hooked by Emily McIntyre, we will also be having her on the author live show on January 7th at 3 p.m. EST on Mel's channel. If you don't know what this book is about, like I said, it is a Peter Pan retelling, but I will go ahead and read the synopsis. He wants revenge, but he wants her more. James has always had one agenda: destroy his enemy, Peter Michaels. When Peter's 20-year-old daughter Wendy shows up in James' bar, he sees his way in, seduce the girl, and use her for revenge. It's the perfect plan, until things in James' organization begin to crumble. Suddenly, he has to find traitors in his midst, and his plan for revenge gets murkier as James starts to see Wendy as more than just a pawn in his game. I'm going to keep it there. I'll let you figure out the rest, but this is a non-fantastical retelling of Peter Pan, so I'm very pumped for it. I've heard a lot of good things. Hopefully we all love it, and then we can ask all of our questions to Emily during the live show and geek about how much we enjoyed the book. That being said, that is all the information that you're going to need for this particular readathon. I hope these recommendations were helpful to you, but if you have any questions in regards to readathons, how to fulfill the prompts, anything along those lines, always feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Of course, before you go, make sure that you go down in the description box below and check out Mel's announcement video as well as Clint's announcement video to get even more recommendations and just support them and show them all of the love. But that is the end of this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.
Baby, turn it down.